803 Music. You are listening to 803 Music Group. 803 Music.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to 803 MGTV. I am your host, YFG, your favorite guy, aka Boudreaux, aka Uncle Boudreaux, to those that are very, very, very close to me and you know who you are.
Nope.
Yes, we are back with another video, and this one won't quite be that long, but I want to talk about producing tracks in Pro Tools, which some people seem to feel like is impossible. Well, not necessarily impossible, but they believe that it's not, what's a good word to put? They believe that it's not inspiring, which that point can be seen. And it's kind of cumbersome, it's not difficult. And some feel it's a tad on the boring side. And it takes a lot more to do certain things. Okay, so in this video, I'm actually, although I could be on the newer version, I just haven't upgraded to the newest version yet. Right now, I'm still on 12. It is what it is. So I use it when I need to use it. I'm not always in it. When a mix, when a mix needs to be done in Pro Tools, then I'll use it to do a mix in Pro Tools, or if I need to use the editing features on some audio, I'll pull the audio in and do whatever it is I'm going to do, and then export the audio out and pull it into whatever DAW or whatever other DAW that I'm working in. So, to be honest, when I'm working in any DAW, it's not, well, I won't necessarily just be working primarily with that DAW unless everything I'm looking for is right there. However, sometimes I can be inspired to go into the outboard gear and play some things. Because, it has some sounds that I remember, and I'll go over here and I'll play it in live and do whatever. And then I'll take it back, I'll take it from wherever I recorded it in and put it wherever else I need to put it. Do some tweaking, some things to it, dump it out and put it where I'm actually doing the work. So with Pro Tools, I think what it is a lot of the features that it should, well, at least this version, I'm not sure about the newest version. I need to do a little bit more research on that, and I will. And I'll come back and say, okay, hey, I got the new version. This is what it is, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna mess around with it when I get it. But for now, just happened to be talking with some friends, and somebody posted a question and said, what is your main choice of DAW or what is your go-to DAW when you need to produce something right away or what have you? And people was posting or whatever. And I said, whatever. I mean, I said, even Pro Tools if necessary, it just depends on how I'm feeling, and one of my buddies, who he is, I'm not going to say no name. And he's like, ooh, so a lot of times when you talk Pro Tools about when you talk producing in Pro Tools, a lot of people say, ooh, you know, I believe Jake One, Illmind, there's a couple of other producers I know that have no issue with producing in Pro Tools. It's like second nature to those guys, and it is what it is. I was introduced to Pro Tools years ago, and I forgot the producer's name. I was introduced to him through another guy who I met and was trying to form a music company or whatever, and he wanted me to be over the music and do a lot of the production work and all that stuff, while he does a lot of the executive work and all that type of stuff. And he happened to know this guy. I guess this guy was a friend of his, and he introduced us and everything, and we talked, and he was like, yeah, we need to get together and collab. So he scooped me up, and we went over there to his friend's house, and he had a room. I don't know if he converted another room or took some space from another room inside of the house, because I never went inside the house. His recording space, like when you go in the garage, there's like a door. You have the door to the house, and there's a door over here. And this particular door went to this is like a small room, probably, definitely half the size of this room. And you go out from there, and he had it set up. It was set up really nice. At least 3 or 4 people can fit in there comfortably without any issues, And so we got to working on it. At that particular time, I wasn't really familiar with Pro Tools. And so he said, okay. I said, well, give me a piano or give me this. And he pulled it up or whatever. And I played and everything like that. And I was looking and I was watching it. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was cool, it was my first time. I knew of Pro Tools, but at that time I had never worked in Pro Tools. And it just so happened that I got a chance to. And so, later on down the line, had other friends who had Pro Tools, and we're gonna get to it in just a second. I'm just kind of, doing a little backstory. And so I had a couple of other friends, or even situations where I had the opportunity to work in Pro Tools again. Excuse me. And, through some friends, and then at other studios, and I got a chance to watch, and I'm like, okay, I see it. Most of the times when I was at the bigger studios, most of the time stems were just being uploaded and they were just mixing in there. Even one time I went to a well-known studio out here in the area, and watched an engineer pull it in there and take 20 minutes. Well, the way they were routing it, where you can route, depending on your setup, you can route the signal to go back into the console. And so he would route it back into the console. And he took like 20 minutes on just one sound. I'm like, bruh, it don't take no 20 minutes. I'm like, you milk it. And I'm like, because Pro Tools is not that hard. Bro, we in Pro Tools. You don't even need to run back off up in here. The sounds are solid as they are. I dumped them out solid. They already compressed. They already had, pretty much. Now, if you needed to add a little bit here and there, that's an easy fix. Just add a little bit of this and that. Let's get moving. So I noticed that some people just have an issue with working inside of Pro Tools from time to time, and if they don't have to, they'll try not to. And in this occasion, that's a different situation where it's like, okay, I'm just going to use the console, and that way I can make money, but I don't necessarily have to deal with Pro Tools, because it's not, inspiring enough for me to make any music in it or what have you. Now, don't get it twisted. Pro Tools is still a powerful DAW, you know what I'm saying? But you have a lot of other DAWs now that has brought the competition up to them, you know what I'm saying? So let's see, Studio One, people are in Studio One, Ableton, Reason is definitely doing some stuff. Logic, let's see, what else? Cubase, New Window. Now, I haven't really met anybody where a cakewalk is just their thing, but I guess maybe, depending on if you like that. Now, cakewalk to me is, that one I could say is kind of like somewhere there. And Digital Performer. Recently, another friend has took the time to just devote nothing but time to Digital Performer, and that's, and like I tell people all the time, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So with that being said, I hadn't done a track inside of Pro Tools in a long time. And again, when the conversation came up, I was like, okay, let me just go in here and let me show what you can do in Pro Tools. So to give you a little bit of, give you a little idea of what's going on and everything. If you're familiar with Pro Tools, this is what it looks like. Right now, this is MIDI, just like any other DAW when you producing MIDI or anything like that. Of course, as you can see, copy paste or whatever it is, and you do what you do your drops and stuff and all that. Right now this is real simple. I hadn't done any crazy super arrangement yet. I hadn't even gotten to like the bridge part or what have you. It was just an idea I had, and I was like, okay, let me do this. Let me go in here. Let me grab this. Let me grab that. One of the other things is when doing music in Pro Tools is this right here. So when you are messing around in Pro Tools, once you get all your MIDI stuff going, it's not like you can say, okay, let me export this. Well, you can actually export the audio and stuff like that. I want to, if I remember correctly, you can, dump the channels. However, if you wanted to, bounce the MIDI to audio, you would have to actually create audio channels. Go here and create your inputs for the channels or whatever. Then you have to route. The let me see. Yeah, you would have to route. You create your buses, whatever, you're routing. You have to go and you have to route whatever to whatever and go from there. And then you have to arm it and then push record. And that's how you actually bounce your tracks inside of Pro Tools. At least in the versions up to what I have now. Could still be the same. Not sure. Because I'm not really in Pro Tools as much lately. So right here, excuse me. Let's see. Let's look at some of the instruments I use. Let's check that out first. Well, in order to do a click track, you have to actually create a MIDI channel, and then you have to go in and grab the click. This is I'll say I'm going to call it an instrument, because when you go into the instruments, this is where you're going to find your click track. Yeah. So this is the click generator. This is the generator that creates the click for Pro Tools. So you got to set that up. Whereas in other DAWs, all you do is push a button and hey, you got your click track automatically. So once you do that, you have that going, and then you have to add in your other channels or what have you. So on this one, as you can see, I use battery in these. For the drums, let's see, I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 channels or 8 tracks with battery. Of course, you know, kick, snare, hi-hat, percussions and stuff like that. So that's what that is. And of course, if you don't know what battery is, let's see. Come on, pop up. You know, when you record and then you doing everything on the same thing, you know, moves a little slower. Oh, it's doing this little scan right quick. So I have several instances of this up. I don't necessarily have to have all of them up like that. I could have just recorded the kick, the MIDI information for the kick, and then dumped it in the audio track, do whatever for the snare, do the same, and you know, you could just use one instance. But for this, I just pulled up. Let's see if there's a different setting on this other one. Oh, everything's still the same. Let's see. Yeah. So, I guess the patch was the 1988 kit in battery. And so, let me mute. And these right here. Okay. So with that being said, here's the drums. Battery is a beast, y'all. Don't sleep on battery. I know we got a lot of other stuff, but don't sleep on it. Or rather, don't lay it to rest if you are using it. So that's pretty much it. And then I rolled through and I got the Triton. I used the Triton VST. For those who remember the Triton, the Korg Triton. And if you like the Triton, they do have a VST for the Korg Triton, a VST version of the Korg Triton, which came in very handy. They actually have a couple of VSTs of their Korg keyboards, M1, the Prophecy, and a couple others, you know. So right here, I went on and I added in got it from I believe it's called the Dynamic Orchestra patch inside of the Triton. Okay, so with this actually is, let's see. This is actually from the Glaze series, and I believe I use this as a. I want to say I used it as a base. Yeah, I used this particular one as a base. Used the 800 pounds to run like a base, a lower end up under the dynamic orchestra to give it some bottom so that it was not too thin. So it actually come out like this. It's that, dynamic orchestra has somebody with this. It just made a little, gave us some woo. And then I gave it a little hit here. My chords. So let's see. Okay. So I actually have a little effect on this. I used a patch from the Reason Rack. It's like a so I took a sample of a hit, put it in, and I believe it was already pitched or whatever. I just dropped the samples in, and it is. Let's see. Yeah, they already had their own pitch to them. So I like the sound. I said, okay, this works with what I'm doing. So let's go with this, and threw that in, and it actually worked. So we did good. And I skip. I guess I was gonna do something. I was gonna do something with this, and for some reason, well, I was gonna use the trillion to add, for the bass, but then I decided what I used with the glaze bass was good enough, and I just left it. But I think I was going to use the trillion bass on the bridge to do something different, kind of take it away from what was going on over here. Just hadn't gotten to it quite yet. Then on the next sound we got right here. Take a guess. What is this? What is this? Well, let's see what it is. It is output. So we got output arcade in the building. So I took that and, found something that worked with it. I'm like, okay, let me throw that in there to give it a little bit more texture, a little bit more interest. And okay. And then finally I dropped in some more glaze. I pulled it up. Now, in glaze, when you see the CAN, if I am correct, and I believe this is who it is, I call her my girlfriend, my musical girlfriend, uh, Candace Boyd. Is one of the vocalists featured in this particular play series by Native Instruments, and in their Contact Play series. And Candace is a beast on the vocals, guys. She is something else. And I love her voice. Her voice is amazing. And so I tend to use hers quite a bit. I hadn't gotten to Tone, aka B Slade. I hadn't gotten to his yet. Waiting to get to his. Because Tone is like, I'll put it like this, just a side note. Okay, you have Michael Jackson and you have Prince. Vocally, Michael is what it is. So you can't take it from him. And then you got Prince, who's more on the musician side. Not that Michael didn't play any instruments or that he didn't do any type of instrumental things. I believe Michael had some skills, y'all. He just didn't show it. However, Prince was more on the musical side, played and, did some stuff, got some things going or whatever. But I'm talking vocally. You got Michael, his vocals phenomenal. You got Prince. These ranges. Now, on the gospel side, technically, at the particular time when I did this comparison, Tone to me was kind of like the Prince, the gospel version of Prince, because of his vocal arrangements and how he approached vocals. To me, he didn't approach it exactly like Prince. He had his own style, his own flavor. But I mean, he did those vocal tones that you wouldn't normally touch. You wouldn't think about touching, which is kind of what Prince did. And then on the Michael Jackson side, not discrediting Dietrich or anything like that, because Dietrich got some range too. He's killing on some vocal arrangements and everything. But to me, Dietrich kind of had that Michael Jackson energy, especially when it comes to ministering, or what some would see as performing or moving around and getting into the crowd and getting the people into it or whatever. Not that Tone didn't do it, he does his thing. However, you would see Dietrich all over the stage, across the stage, on top. If he was able to get on top of speakers during the time, if he had some, I believe Dietrich would have did it. But however, Dietrich to me was kind of like in a sense, and I hope nobody come at me crazy about it, but that's just the way I saw it. Everybody see everything differently. So, but yeah, Candace is crazy on these vocals that she did in here, on these riffs that she did. I wish she would have did some more, but I know that they were specific about what they want to do. They may do a Glaze Part 2. Who knows? Don't know, hopefully they'll have Candace for a Part 2 in there. But she is one of my favorites when it comes down to vocals. I got some tracks right now, Candace. If you ever come across this video, I got some tracks. I got some stuff that got you all in it from this right here. So I like to use her vocals. So here, let me go in here and let me slide. I'm just gonna play it with everything. So here goes. So basically that's what this is. So with that being said, you can actually do something really, really nice in Pro Tools. You can actually do orchestration inside of Pro Tools. I believe, yeah, you can do automation inside of Pro Tools. Yes, you can do automation inside of Pro Tools for your VSTs. And I want to say, I just think that maybe Pro Tools lost out by not developing the creative side of Pro Tools. Gotta hear this real quick, y'all. That's my girl. Come on, Candace. We call it Canelo. Yeah, so yeah, she did her thing. She did her thing. Glaze is a very useful instrument, y'all. They have a lot more than just the vocals. They have a lot of, I mean, they use vocals to make the instruments that you hear in there. So a lot of the instrumentation you hear in there, there's some pads and it's a lot of stuff, basses, effects. They got quite a bit in there for you to create some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So, and I'm looking up the screen because this is just, it was simple. It really was simple. So, that being said, I want you guys to know that you can make music in Pro Tools. You can make something really nice. I actually did another one in Pro Tools. And let's see.
803 Music. Control. 803 Music. Control.
Yeah. This is what I did. Here we go.
803 Music. Control. 803 Music. 803 Music. 803 Music. 803 Music. 803 Music.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do some amazing stuff with Pro Tools. Simple stuff. So point I wanted to make with this, when you are seasoned and you have something at your disposal that allows you to make music, you're going to make some music. So this particular video is dedicated to making music in Pro Tools. So don't let the DAW, well, you know, I like this. Don't let the DAWs intimidate you. Just learn them, or learn that particular DAW and work it, get to know it, learn how to route things in it, learn how to do whatever you're trying to do. Learn, look up videos if necessary. Excuse me. So whatever inspires you to make music, use that, but don't lock yourself into what a person does and say, this is how it's supposed to be. No. As we said in the Painter family, part of Discord group, one of the Discord groups I'm in, one of the first music Discord groups I got in, one of the main things that he say, you the artist, paint the picture. Paint your picture. So when you're doing your music, you know, the DAW is your canvas. When you're doing it, you that's all you. And you take whatever paint that you need, which is the VST instrument, the drum samples or loops or whatever it is you use. Live instrumentation, live instruments, if you play something live in. So whatever it is you use, it's you. When it comes to mixing, whatever technique you use, that's your way, as you know how it's supposed to sound in your head. And then you have to convey it through the medium of the DAW. That's your canvas. You have to. Now, one thing I'll say is this. When you learn something from somebody on YouTube, don't take what you learn from them and say, this is how it's supposed to go. Take what you learn from them, learn why they did it, learn how, whatever it is they use, learn how that particular instrument or effect work. If you don't understand EQ, learn how EQ works. If you don't understand compression, learn how compression works. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand how tremolo works, or how phases work, or how choruses work, how reverbs work, how delays work. If you don't, go look. If you don't understand side compression, you know, what we call it, that New York. I know I'm saying it wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong. New York. New York. I call it New York compression. It's just it's a technique that they use in New York. It was basically developed in New York, and it's been labeled that ever since. You know. Bottom line, just learn it. Just learn the stuff and learn, get the knowledge, and learn how to apply that knowledge to your production or to your art. You know, so Pro Tools, in my opinion, is workable, especially when you're inspired. When you stay inspired, you'll use whatever. One of the best tracks I've heard, not that I've heard, one of the best tracks I've worked on was, I guess you can say, co-produced, but I contributed to it. I was asked to add a bridge and ended up playing the bass and maybe a synth chord to kind of layer under a lot of these sounds, because it was very textural. It had a lot of electronic sounds in the track, over the top drums and stuff, kind of give you that Brandy feel, you know. And so that I put like that dark child brandy feel, you know. So I ended up playing the bass line for the entire song, playing and a synth line, and then I ended up doing the bridge. Well, I was called in to do the bridge, and I came in, did the bridge, what have you, went right, and then, you know, of course you do whatever you're gonna do, and it's just a copy paste thing or whatever, and on with the rest of the song. So I did my part. So I produced the bridge part of the song and got in, got out, you know, and contributed to the other part that my buddy did, you know. So shout out to Track House. P-Rod, shout out to you. So, you know, we did what we did, and the song came out really, really well. Really, really well. Not something that I would play because of copyright. So right now I'm just trying to build the YouTube channel and get things going. A lot of times you will see me playing music in the background. A lot of that music that you hear in the background, I create like right before, well, during the time that I'm editing the videos and stuff like that. I'll stop and I'll go and I'll make a track, whatever, especially if I'm just talking, you'll hear some music, and which you'll probably be hearing some music right now, because of course I'm done playing this actual track. So more than likely you'll hear me playing some music in the background and stuff like that. So yeah, so Pro Tools is a beast. Pro Tools is still hanging in there, guys. It's not, you just can't throw it away. It's made its mark, you know. So I know a lot of the younger guys, a lot of people are, I see a lot of people have shifted creatively to FL Studio. It just seemed like that, you know, that's what everybody's been shifting to, because you got a bunch of guys that make it seem easy. And then you got some that shifted to Ableton, what have you. So, I mean, everybody's shifted to something because of what it does. You know, me, I'm kind of a music head. Music, when I say music head, I mean more like, if I can make music with it, I'm gonna use it, and that's just me. And I like to dabble in various DAWs and stuff, learn how it works, see how it works, stuff. And Pro Tools is one of them. So that's pretty much the goal of this particular set right here. I just wanted to go through Pro Tools and show you what you can do. No, this video went a little longer than what I expected, because as you can see, I just like to talk. So Pro Tools is definitely worth looking into. If that's what you have, hey, do your thing. And I dare say to anybody who has Pro Tools and may not use it like that as far as making music, challenge yourself to make a track inside of Pro Tools. Don't let yourself just be stuck in one DAW. I know they say get one, learn it inside out, and make it your main thing and do what you got to do with it. Yes, that's true. Get you know, one specific DAW, learn it inside out, and make your stuff on it. But don't just lock yourself to that one thing, because what if an opportunity presents itself, and then all they have for you to work, and you don't have none of your stuff, and all you have to work with is Pro Tools. What are you going to do? And if you're a Pro Tools person or what have you, and then you go into a studio and all they have is Logic, what are you going to do? So definitely learn other DAWs. I'm not saying just start buying up DAWs and doing this and that, and then you just all over the place and don't master it. Find that one that works best with your workflow, master it, and then you do your music with that. And while you're doing that, take the time to learn other DAWs. And then once you've learned that other DAW well enough to start doing stuff in it, then you'll start doing things, whatever. Because I'm gonna put it to you like this: a lot of times when I'm working on stuff, sometimes I'm just strictly in that. But some of the best best work, well, not so much the best work, but a lot of I'll say the best sessions for me is when one of the best sessions for me is when I'm in this DAW. I know this DAW has something that I need. I know, so I'm gonna get that. But this other DAW does this, so I'm gonna jump in that, grab that, pull that over here. So you pick the DAW that you're gonna do the overall production in, and then you say, okay, there's some stuff over here in these keyboards that I want to get. I want to get something out of here, and I want to get something out of here. That you may have another keyboard or another instrument somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna get that sound out of it. I'm gonna put it in this and that, whatever. I'm gonna record some percussion instrument. I got some stuff here that I want to record and put in there and stuff like that. And you record live into the mic and stuff like that. So, those be some of the greatest sessions, because it's like you're utilizing everything. You're involving every piece of DAW or a piece of gear that you have to make music. It's like you pulling, okay, let me grab this, it's like being in the kitchen and cooking up some good old fashioned gumbo, So those that are familiar with Louisiana, you know the boot. When you want gumbo, when you want that good Cajun food, you gotta go to the boot. Just no way around it. The boot. And the people that are originally from there, you have a lot of people that are there that are not from there, that has learned how to cook the different foods. Not to get off the subject, but hey. Anyway, I am done with this video, and I'm glad you guys tuned in. And remember, when you're making music, whatever DAW you are using, don't be afraid. Learn it and do what you got to do. Just be creative, have fun. That is the ultimate thing. When you're making music, have fun doing it. If you're not having fun doing it, don't do it at all, because you're gonna struggle. You're like, man, I got this block. And that's where blocks come from, because you're not enjoying it. You just don't enjoy doing it because you're not having fun. Just have fun. Yeah, sometimes you may cook up something and it don't sound worth nothing to you, but you won't know until you do it. The more you do it, the better you get. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Once again, I am your host, YFG, aka Boudreaux, aka Uncle Boudreaux. to those that are close to me and you know who you are. Love you guys. Peace.